Good evening. Can please be seated. I wanted to welcome everyone to the 2013 Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders Salute to the Irish. I wanted to thank each and every person for being here. My name is Brendan Gill. I represent the 5th Freeholder District here on the Freeholder Board, and when your name is Brendan Gill, you instantly get selected to host a Salute to the Irish. And I was proud to do it. I wanted again, and I spoke very briefly to the parade committees that are here, Nutley, Newark, and West Orange parade committees, and you'll be hearing from the representatives of the committees, as well as the Grand Marshals and Deputy Grand Marshals who were all here gathered to honor. But on the way down, I was reminded, and you'll be hearing from him in a few minutes, from our County Clerk, Chris Durkin. And for those of you who know Chris, I can't tell a joke the way Chris can tell a joke, and he has that Irish gift to tell a story and to tell it in a tremendous way. But I did want to relay one particular story that I've heard and is a true story many times. And when I first got involved in politics and in public life, I went out and sought out advice from people who were involved in politics. And I went to, happened to be, I'm a graduate of Seton Hall University, and now and then I would spend an afternoon in Cryans. My parents are in the back, so just not that often, Mom and Dad. Just once in a while, would make my way down to Cryans, and Mr. Cryan happened to be in there in Cryans that day, and I asked him, and I said, you know, I have an interest in public life and public service. Do you have any advice for a young person starting out? And I cannot do the Irish brogue justice, but he put his arm around me and he said, sincerity. The key to being successful in public life and government is to be sincere. And if you can fake that, you're going to be a winner. So I tell that story, and I love that story, though, because as everyone knows, with a joke, particularly an Irish joke, there's always an ounce of truth. And the Irish and the Irish American community have dedicated themselves to public service, and it's really my honor on the Freeholder Board to be a part of that tradition and to uphold that tradition. So with that, we will start our program. I would like to call Father Edward Leahy from St. Benedict's Prep for our invocation. Father Leahy.
Let us pray. Lord, we gather tonight to remember the contributions of the Irish to our county. We're grateful for the gift of this day that you have entrusted to us. We ask that your spirit rest upon our county executive, upon the members of the Freeholder Board, that they may, in their deliberations and in their decisions, always seek the best interest of all of us who live here in the county. We ask a blessing on all gathered and on those who are to be honored tonight. We ask this, as always, in your name. Let all in accord say amen.
As I noted earlier, our county clerk, Christopher Durkin, is going to acknowledge the elected officials, but I would be remiss if I did not first and foremost acknowledge the president of the Freeholder Board, Blondie Watson Coleman, who was here this evening. I wanted to give a special announcement for Blondie for her leadership on the board. And of course to our county executive, Joe DiVincenzo, who's taken the time. Joe, thank you for being here. At this time, I'd like to call up Carolyn Volpe Curley, who will sing the Irish National Anthem and the Star Spangled Banner. And I'll smile, I promise.
Mr. Giblin tells us that we need to sing this in a more rousing way. So to get with the spirit, make sure you're following your words, which are in your program. And the chorus we start at is in the middle of the page. Go to the very last page of the program. There's no reason for all of us now not to know these words for the Irish anthem. Also, when you sing your anthem, for your Irish anthem, you stand with your hands at your sides like this and your thumbs pointing down. Just to know. Something to know. All right. Okay, one thumb. All right. I'll sing you a song, a soldier's song, with cheering, rousing chorus. As round the blazing fire we throng, the starry heavens o'er us, impatient for the coming fight. And as we wait the morning light, here in the silence of the night, we'll chant a soldier's song. Soldiers are we, whose lives are pledged to Ireland. Some have come from a land beyond the waves, sworn to be free. No more our ancient Ireland shall shelter the despot or the slave. Tonight we'll man the barn of Whale, in Erin's cause come woe or wail. Mid cannons roar and rifles peal, we'll chant a soldier's song. You look like you're in church, but it's good. Okay. Sing our anthem together, please. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was just beautiful. Can we do a little bit better job with a round of applause for that? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Freeholder Leonard Luciano. Oh, let me say that again. I'm Freeholder Leonard Luciano, and yes, I have the best of both worlds. I'm a proud Italian-American and a proud Irish-American. You know, growing up, I grew up in Livingston and West Cornwall, and there were two towns that actually had a lot of folks, both Irish and Italian. So growing up, you know, let's face it, people are cliquey. Do you associate with the Italians? Do you associate with the Irish? I think I was fortunate to be able to associate with both, because while I have a very powerful Italian last name, I also look very Irish, because if I go out in the sun, I burn in about 30 minutes. All I can say tonight is I am very happy to proudly co-sponsor this event with Freeholder Brendan Gill.
He was happy to make me a part of this honoring celebration, which he had mentioned had disappeared for a few years, but it's good to see that it's back in action. My job tonight is not only to introduce some honorees later on, but I also wanted to begin by honoring my colleagues on the Freeholder Board. The Freeholder Board is made up of 9 freeholders. 5 of them are district and 4 of them are at large, for anyone that may not know. We are the legislative branch of Essex County, and I want to start by honoring again our president, President Blonnie Watson. Freeholder at large, Rufus Johnson. And District 5 Freeholder, Brendan Gill. The next person that I'm going to ask to come up to the microphone is somebody I met, I want to say, in the beginnings stages of politics back in 2006. When I first showed up on the scene, I was more of a guy that was really genuinely headed to serve on the local level. I took local politics serious, local government serious. I sat in on a lot of council and mayor meetings. And when I was what they may call a political neophyte, the county executive saw something in me. He believed in me. He supported me from day one. I'm proud to call him my friend, and I couldn't be more proud to serve on a freeholder board in Essex County, where he puts Essex County first every day. You know, I'm fortunate to represent District 4, which is sort of the West Essex rim of Essex County. And I'll tell you, growing up there as a kid, and then going there now as a legislator and as an adult, I could just tell you the differences are like night and day. When you talk about the Turtleback Zoo, the South Mountain Arena, you know, the additions of the restaurant that has been added to the McClune's restaurant, to the things that he has proposed that we're going to be doing in the future, like the boat dock that's going to be put in on the Orange Reservoir. It's endless with this county executive. He gives, I'm telling you, 24 hours of his day. And you've seen that even with the recent storms that we've had. Let's knock on some wood that the storm we're about to receive tonight and tomorrow, we won't have to get crazy, but I'm sure he'll be out there making sure that the residents of this county will be safe and protected. So that is our Italian-American but honorary Irishman for today, County Executive Joe DiVincenzo.
I just want Freeholder Luciano to know I too got the best of both worlds now. My daughter married an Irishman, and 20 months ago she blessed me with an Irish granddaughter, Haley Marie Root. So I have 50% of me here too, my pride. But on behalf of Essex, what's that? Well, when she was born, she came out with all black hair, and I would say, okay, fine, at least we got part of it. Then all of a sudden the hair turned all blonde and blue eyes. But she's absolutely beautiful, and I have to see her every day. But it's great, and I got a great son-in-law. But on behalf of Essex County, you know, we have 22 great municipalities. We got 800,000 people here in Essex County. We have 3,500 county employees. We got a great freeholder board. I got a great administrative team. And I say this every time for the last 11 years I've been in the county. Our strength in this county is our diversity. That's what makes us stand out above all the other 21 other counties in the state of New Jersey. It's the pride that we have here and the people collectively working together. And when it comes to celebrating the Irish, we don't celebrate it 1-2 days. In Essex County, we celebrate it 365 days because Tom Giblin makes sure we do celebrate it. But to the freeholders, to Freeholder Gill, to Freeholder Luciano, he never told me he was Irish, by the way, until after he won. To our county clerks, Chris Durkin, to Tom Giblin, to the Freeholder Board, let me commend the parade committees because all year long you work so hard to put on outstanding parades, and I know how much it takes to get something done as far as work the way you do, whether it's the Nutley, whether it's the West Orange, or whether it's the Newark Parade, so congratulations. And to the Grand Marshals and to the Deputy Grand Marshals, let me congratulate you all. It's a great honor to be selected as Grand Marshal of the parade. And this week we're going to have some great weather. I think it's going to be about 50 degrees, so it's going to be a great parade. So congratulations and keep up the good work. Thank you all very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Durkin. I'm the Essex County Clerk, and it's an honor to be a small part of this program. So this woman dies after 47 years of marriage, and the pallbearers are bringing her into the church for her funeral service. And as they're walking up the stairs of the church, they trip, they stumble, and the casket hits the wall of the church. And you hear a scream from inside the casket, "I'm alive!" They open up the casket, and a woman steps out of the casket. And she lives for another 4 years. 4 years later, she dies. Again, the pallbearers are bringing her back into church for her funeral mass, and they're going up the stairs with the casket, and the husband yells, "Watch the wall!" I see our prosecutor, Carolyn Murray, and for the record, I want to pass before my wife. So just understand that. It is an honor to introduce someone who needs no introduction. Tom Giblin has been there for not just each and every one of us in this room, but he's been there for thousands upon thousands of people throughout New Jersey. Whether it be some words of wisdom, some words of encouragement, a job, or just a donation to a cause that is near and dear to your heart, Tom Giblin has been there. He is known for his encyclopedic mind and a heart as big as New Jersey. He is an Irish treasure, but more importantly, he is an American treasure. I give to you Tom Giblin.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for those kind words of introduction. The words my mother would be glad to hear talked about her youngest son. I was thinking about our county executive. I don't know if Joe realizes this or not, but he's created kind of a Irish Hall of Fame walkway around this complex. Joe has a memorial. I guess it's not a memorial, more of a tribute to the great Brendan Byrne, who served the state for 2 terms as governor. Right in front, there's a statue here for Justice William J. Brennan, Jr., whose father was a public safety commissioner in Newark and a native of County Roscommon. On this other side of the building, recently there was a dedication for the late Tim McCormick, who was Superior Court judge, freeholder counsel, freeholder over the years, and from a great family concerned about good government. Charles Cummings is across the street. Charles was considered the Newark historian and was a person who was really the go-to person at the Newark Public Library. And Congressman Donald Payne, no better friend of Ireland, was then Congressman Payne, and right today we're celebrating the 1st anniversary of his passing, but over the years Don Payne was out there on so many different occasions as far as the cause of Irish people and the great country of Ireland. So to our Grand Marshals and Deputy Grand Marshals and other honorees of the various parades, I appreciate what's involved in terms of trying to put the parades together. It's something that's worked on a number of months throughout the year, and we're looking forward to a great season of parades with the Nutley, West Orange, and the Newark parade. This evening I have the honor of talking about one of the dedications of the Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade, and that's in memoriam dealing with Terry Pellegrino. About a year ago, we lost Terry Pellegrino, and it's kind of only fitting that he's going to be remembered when the Newark Parade kicks off on Friday, March the 15th, which is the exact anniversary of his death. I know his widow is here, Gloria Pellegrino. I'd like to ask her to come up maybe at this time and present her to the audience. And also, I know there's a freeholder board resolution in Terry's honor. Let's hear for Gloria Pellegrino. I just want to take a few moments for the benefit of the audience who didn't have the opportunity to know Terry Pellegrino. Terry Pellegrino of Wayne passed from this life on March 15, 2012 at the age of 67, and the 78th annual New York St. Patrick's Day Parade has been dedicated to his memory. Terry was one of two children born to the late Sam Pellegrino and Marjorie Pellegrino. He graduated from Passaic Valley Regional High School, served in Berlin, and while he was enlisted in the United States Army, and later graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Public Safety from William Patterson University. He then served with the Patterson Fire Department for 31 years until he retired as a battalion chief in 1997. Terry had a passion for Irish music, but unfortunately he couldn't play the bagpipes, so instead he joined the Essex County Emerald Society Police and Fire Pipe Band in 1996 as a drummer, and years later traveled the metropolitan area with the bagpipe band to attend funeral services for fellow police officers and firefighters who were killed while the Twin Towers fell on September 11th. He was a member of numerous professional organizations, including the state FMBA, the Patterson Firemen's Association, the Retired Patterson Firemen's Association, the Little Falls American Legion Post 121, the Belleville Knights of Columbus, the West Orange Elks, and the Essex County Shillelaghs. So it's my great pleasure on behalf of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to make this presentation to you, Gloria. Terry, I had the good fortune to know. He was a gentleman, proud of his heritage, a great member of the Emerald Society Pipe Band, and I know he's looking at on today's festivities with a smile and thinking that people are remembering him for his great contributions over the years. Okay?
Thank you so much. I'm sure say one. Where's the beer?
Where's the beer? That's what Terry would say. Okay?
We have some dignitaries among us. I would like to ask for your applause. Fellow Irishman, Deputy Chief of Staff Bill Payne is here for Bill Payne. The great senator from the 28th Legislative District, Senator Ron Rice, is here for Senator Ron Rice. My chairman, Essex County Chairman Phil Thigpen, is here for Phil. There he is. The esteemed prosecutor here in Essex County, Carolyn Murray. Let's hear for Carolyn Murray. My former boss, the Sheriff of Essex County, Armando Fontura. Under Sheriff Jesus Padilla. Jesus Padilla. Under Sheriff Kevin Ryan. Let's hear for Kevin Ryan. Under Sheriff James Pitts. Let's hear for James Pitts. My chief, my dear friend, Chief of Staff Phil Elijah. It's here for Phil Elijah. Director of Small Business Development and Affirmative Action, Deborah Collins. Here for Deborah Collins. Let's hear it for former Caldwell Mayor Sue Gartland. Let's hear it for Sue Gartland. The Deputy Administrator, Alan Abramowitz. Alan Abramowitz. Former County Council, Frank McQuaid. Let's hear it for Frank McQuaid. And then Essex County Health Officer, Dr. Michael Festa. Our next act, these are young women who are about to perform under the leadership of Jen McGovern of the Denogla School of Dance. They've dedicated themselves to their traditions, to their heritage, and to the beauty of Irish dance. Let's give a warm welcome to the dancers of the Denogla School of Dance. Let's hear it for them. Hey, very nice. We'd like to recognize two other dignitaries. Jeff Curley, former councilman of Caldwell. Let's hear it for Jeff Curley. And newly elected councilman, my cousin, Edward Durkin from Caldwell. Let's hear it for Edward Durkin.
Before we move the program along, let me say that dance was fantastic to all those dancers. And anyone who know me know that I just recently performed in a local Dancing with the Stars in the community of Caldwell, West Caldwell. But I performed a salsa, but my next dance actually might be an Irish jig or an Irish dance. Very good. Congratulations again, guys. Good job. We're going to begin our salute to the Irish by recognizing the West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade. As the District 4 freeholder, I represent the Township of West Orange. And I know that this year they're celebrating its 62nd year when the parade kicks off Sunday, March 10th, and I hope to see you all there. I am delighted to call up the chairwoman. That would be Stephanie Gallo, who has worked feverishly since we last got together last year this time to make sure that this year's edition of the parade is a huge success. Please join me in welcoming up the chairwoman. Thank you. Stephanie, on behalf of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, I'm going to present you with this resolution that honors you and the entire parade committee, and also proclaims Main Street as McKean Boulevard for the duration of March 10th.
Thank you very much for hosting us in this nice celebration today. We have three wonderful individuals who we're honoring this weekend, and I would just like to invite everyone here today to come out next Sunday, March 10th, this Sunday, March 10th. Our step-off is at 12:15 p.m., and we begin with a beautiful Mass at Our Lady of Lourdes at 9:30 a.m. to begin our day. So we welcome you to join us then, but thank you again for this.
Folks, we've been joined by another dignitary. We have the Irvington West Ward Councilman, Councilman Frederick. Councilwoman, I apologize. Councilwoman, excuse me. Our next honoree is the Grand Marshal of the West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade. He's a friend, he's a former mayor, he's currently the Assemblyman of West Orange. John McKean is one of 4 children that traces his Irish roots through his grandfather, John Jack McKean Sr., who immigrated from Ireland at the age of 3. John moved to West Orange with his family in 1967 and graduated from Muhlenberg College cum laude, where he earned his JD from Seton Hall School of Law following. John McKean has served as counsel to the West Orange Board of Adjustment for 3 years before being elected to the Township Council in 1992, and twice served as council president before leaving the council when he was elected mayor in 1998, and then re-elected for 2 consecutive terms. He was elected to the New Jersey General Assembly in 2002 to represent the 27th District and is currently serving his 6th consecutive term. In the Assembly, he has served in a variety of roles, including Deputy Speaker and Chair of the Committee on the Environment. And he is the prime sponsor of the Highlands Preservation Act, which is recognized as the most significant environmental law in a generation. John became involved with the West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade in 1990 and has remained so ever since. He has co-hosted the parade's coverage, which is seen on television, for the last 25 years, and serves as the parade committee's parliamentarian. He is affiliated with the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, has been honored as their Young Irishman of the Year, and has coordinated the New Jersey Legislators' public ceremony honoring the Grand Marshals and Deputy Grand Marshals of St. Patrick's Day Parade. Please join me in welcoming up Assemblyman Grand Marshal John McKean.
Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Safe Your Work, Lenny. Thank you very much. You know, when I got this honor, I said, I'm not old enough to be Grand Marshal, but then when I see Lenny and Brendan and see Joe talking about grandchildren, I know I'm definitely old enough. And Joe, how about the young man that was dancing? What were we playing football, knocking our heads out for, right? Who's luckier than him? I'm going to start to go for all of us. To all of the freeholders, all of the dignitaries, thank you so much for having us all here. As I see my good friend Bill Payne, I just am reminded what a wonderful mentor you were to me and how much we all miss your brother. He was a hero to many of us, and whether it was the people of Ireland, Rwanda, or Darfur, the profound impact that he had will be known for 100 years into the future. I want to also mention this beautiful young lady to my right with that Italian name. Now, if I was here at the St. Joseph's event, I might give up that part of my roots too. But Miss Gallo is an O'Hara, and what's really special about our parade this year is that the O'Hara family, as venerable as you could be in West Orange and really all over Essex County, is celebrating their 80th year as an organization. And I know that the O'Haras and their extended family will be coming really from all over the country and even the world to celebrate. So that makes another good reason, plus the 50-degree weather and the sunny day that it'll be on Sunday, to come see what will be a once-in-a-lifetime. So I mentioned there was a beautiful young lady from Nutley that's their parade queen. Thank you to our parade queen, Stephanie, very, very much. The only teasing I have to do is of Grand Marshal Dunnican. He's a managing partner, I guess, over at the Gibbons firm. Now, I'm a lawyer. We maybe bought a $300 ad for the Journal. That Gibbons firm, Joe, do you see it? It makes you look quiet. Full-page ad every week. But congratulations to Nork. I'm so happy that you've kept that tradition going, what Tom Giblin and others before him did, and it's going to be a wonderful parade with Mr. Byrne as the chairman and great honorees, and Nutley too. We really enjoyed being there. So to my soon-to-be feted co-marshals, they're wonderful. I'm proud to march with you, and thank you all very, very much for this wonderful honor.
The West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade has two Deputy Grand Marshals. Barbara Hughes was born and raised in Montclair, one of 3 children. She is 5th-generation member of the Hughes clan and is proud of her extensive Irish roots in County Roscommon. Barbara obtained a degree in fashion marketing and retail management from Berkeley College, and then worked for 12 years in New York City's Garment District. She then returned to New Jersey to pursue a career in real estate, where she has been a licensed realtor since 1997. She has worked out of Remax Village Squares Realtors in Upper Montclair since 2004, which awarded her its Community Service Award on 2 occasions, and was also named Realtor of the Year by the West Essex Board of Realtors in 2009. Barbara has also been very active in her community, where she has been a member of the Edie Mall Association since 2002, the 100 Club of Montclair Board of Trustees since 2009, the Celtic Sisters of West Orange, and the 12 Miles West Theater Committee. Barbara most recently was a committee member for the Restore the Shore fundraising event to restore the Jersey Shore after the devastating Hurricane Sandy. It is my proud honor to call up, please welcome her with me, Deputy Grand Marshal Barbara Hughes.
Thank you. If anybody that knows me knows that the West Orange Parade has always been one of my favorite days of the year, and I still can't believe that I'm getting to help lead it this year. And I'm not good at the speaking thing, so I'm just going to invite everybody to come Sunday and see what a great day it is in West Orange to enjoy the Irish. Thank you.
Our second Deputy Grand Marshal of the West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade is a devoted county employee for many years before serving the Township of West Orange as one of its bravest. Michael Merwin traces his Irish roots through his great-grandfather, George Washington Compton, who was born and raised in Ireland before emigrating to the United States. Michael moved to Orange, New Jersey, and then to West Orange in 1967. He was employed by Essex County's Turtleback Zoo until 1984, and then worked for the Postal Service in the Orange, West Orange Post Office until 1988, when he joined the West Orange Fire Department, where he was promoted to the rank of captain in 1999 and later retired in 2011. He is currently working and employed by the Star Tavern, one of my favorite places for pizza. And Michael Merwin first marched in the West Orange St. Patrick's Day Parade in 1987. He has marched in every parade since, mostly with the West Orange Fire Department. Michael is a member of the West Orange Elks, the Essex County Shillelagh Club, the Essex County Emerald Society, and is a 4th degree member of the West Orange Knights of Columbus. He was also inducted into the Colgate Field Old Timers Hall of Fame in 2011. Michael has been married to his dear wife Deborah since 1988, and they are proud parents of 2 daughters, Samantha and Ashley. Please help me welcoming up Michael Merwin.
I'm kind of like Barb, I'm not really good at this, but especially as Terry's wife said, where's the beer? But after a few beers, I get really good at this. But I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for coming down. And Joe D, I was on a call when I was at the fire department, went into Turtleback Zoo, and I couldn't believe I worked there for 10 years because you did great. You did great. Again, I'd like to thank all the dignitaries for coming down, and I could get into a little bit more detail about John McKeon, because everybody knows he's not the tallest guy in the world, but he can talk for hours.
You know, you were promoted in '99, Mike. Stop.
The only reason he promoted me is because I threatened to stuff him in a locker every day. So, but again, thanks a lot. I really appreciate this.
Two ladies in the middle, just real quick.
Joe, wait till Cody hears you made it McKeon Boulevard. He's gonna go
In
crazy.
front of me, in front of me.
That's a tough act to follow. I have the honor and privilege as a District 5 freeholder to represent the Township of Nutley. And I'd like to call up Deirdre and Dave Hollywood. Deirdre, please. Deirdre is the co-chair of the Nutley Parade, Nutley St. Patrick's Day Parade. I'd like to ask her to come forward. We had a great time on Saturday. It was a tremendous parade being out there. Such a good time that I think if my wife hadn't called me Saturday evening, I'd still be enjoying the festivities. We had a great time, and I wanted to say to you, Deirdre, thank you for your graciousness to me since I've reached out to you. You've been tremendous, and I consider you a great friend. We've only known each other a few years now, but your graciousness to me and allowing me to participate in the parade is very humbling, so I wanted to thank you. And with that, I'm delighted to make the presentation to the representatives of the 35th Annual Nutley St. Patrick's Day Parade, which we thoroughly enjoyed when it kicked off last Saturday, March 2nd. I'm going to begin by recognizing again Deirdre. Deirdre helped make the parade a huge success, so please join me in welcoming and congratulating Deirdre Hollywood on behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board. Deirdre, congratulations. Thank you. You have to talk, yes. We take a picture.
It's such an honor to be here with so many distinguished people. As the co-chair of the Nutley St. Patrick's Day Parade, I feel like I have an unfair advantage over some of the other parade chairs. Not only does my brother Dave, as co-chair, he marches in about 15 parades a year as a piper in the Essex County Emerald Society. But I also have a complete organization at my fingertips to help with anything that needs to get done for the parade. It's such a culmination of efforts from so many people that it would be impossible to thank everyone individually for their support, from our township commissioners to their departments, to the parade committee, to the trustees and the members of the Nutley Irish and the Nutley community for their constant support. It's such an honor to be a part of a town and organization that takes such pride in their Irish heritage. And even more of an honor that people who aren't even Irish still support us in all of our organizations that does. Thank you to the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders for having us here today. The Nutley Irish really appreciates the help and support you constantly provide us. Thanks.
Next, have the honor of introducing a man who has done his Irish ancestors proud as a very successful businessman in the construction industry and the restaurant business. Please join me in welcoming the Grand Marshal of the 35th Annual Nutley St. Patrick's Day Parade, John Kelly. John? John traces his, congratulations, John. John traces his Irish roots to his grandparents, Joseph and Mary Kelly, who emigrated from Ireland in the late 1800s and settled in North Arlington. John Kelly grew up in North Arlington before moving with his family to Belleville in 1962. He attended William Patterson University part-time, while also starting up his own construction business, and moved to Nutley in 1979, where he has lived ever since. John found a new company in 1998, which specializes in commercial and military projects, and which he continues to run to this day. John has proudly renewed his involvement in the sport of rowing through the participation of his two daughters, both members of the Nutley High School crew team. John Kelly further embraced his affinity for the sport of rowing when he opened J.K.'s Boathouse, an Irish pub and steakhouse located on Washington Avenue in Belleville. John has been married to his dear wife, Kathy, since 1986, and they are the proud parents of two daughters, Shannon and Rachel. Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I wasn't really prepared to talk here today, and when I got here I was thinking I was going to say thanks again to the Nutley people for giving me this honor. But I got to ask everybody in this room a question. How would you like to be the Grand Marshal in between John and Patrick over here? You know, who else wants that job? But since I got it, I want to congratulate you fellas, and I want to tell you guys that to share the same title as you at the same time in the same building is really a great honor for a regular guy like me. And we had our parade already. I look forward to coming to your parades. I hope they're as good as ours was. To the freeholders, I'd like to say thank you very much for a man like me. This is an extraordinary experience, and I got to be honest with you, I can't believe I'm standing here talking to you. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree is the Deputy Grand Marshal of the Nutley Parade, another proud Irishman and an outstanding member of his community. I'm delighted to introduce him, and I ask you to join me in welcoming Seamus Burke. We're actually doing this for the second time because we actually presented all the proclamations to our Deputy Grand Marshals and Grand Marshal at the Nutley Irish American dinner, so I feel like this is a little bit of deja vu as we're doing this again, but it's really my pleasure, and thank you for being here. A little bit from the proclamation, if you would allow me, Seamus. Seamus Burke was born in County Mayo, Ireland, the second of 5 children born to Tom and Ann Burke, where he was raised in the small village of Knock and lived until the age of 18. In 1996, he traveled to the United States for what was intended to be only a summer vacation. But after first extending his stay by a few months, he eventually decided to stay in the United States, where he has lived ever since. Over the past 17 years, he has worked in the hardwood flooring business with some of his fellow Mayo men, and had the pleasure of working for the Irish pub entrepreneur Eddie Fitzpatrick. He is currently employed by the Piermont Iron Works, a structural steel fabrication shop. He is married to his dear wife, Leslie, and they are the proud parents of their daughter, Brian Rose. Again, congratulations on behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board.
Again, like John, I wasn't prepared for this speech, so I'd just like to thank all the freeholders for inviting us down here. Again, it's great to be in such great company with all these dignitaries and the dignitaries for the West Orange and the Newark Parade. We had our parade last Saturday. Thank you guys for all coming out, for supporting us, and we will, like John said, support you guys next week and March 15th for Newark. All right, thank you very much.
I'm not sure what's going on with all these Irishmen who don't like to talk. This is unusual. Our next honoree is a gentleman who has devoted a great deal of his time and energy to the Irish American community, and especially to the Nutley Irish American Association. I am proud to introduce the 2013 Nutley Irish American Association's Member of the Year, and ask that you join me in welcoming Steve Tucholsky. Good to see you again. Good to see you again. My pleasure. Steve traces his Irish roots through his mother, Arlene. His great-grandparents, James Burke and Delia Iron, were born in Ireland and hail from Dublin and Castlereagh County, Roscommon, respectively. Stephen has been employed by DCI Metro in architectural door frame and door hardware business for the past 17 years. He grew up in Jersey City before moving to Liverpool, New York, and has been a resident of Nutley for the last 17 years. He has coached Nutley Youth Sports for the past 13 years and has co-chaired a charity softball game against Nutley Unico. How'd we do?
They rigged it.
They did? I don't know, Joe. And he has co-chaired a charity softball game against Nutley Unico for the past 3 years to raise funds for local charities, and particularly the Nutley Special Young Adults. Steve is married to his wife, Rhonda, and they are the proud parents of 3 children, Dominic, Maxwell, and Samantha. Congratulations to Steve on behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board. My pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for everybody coming out. Thank you to the freeholders, everybody in this room. So you guys are a good-looking group out there, I tell you. I'm the only member of the year here with the sash on. I haven't taken it off since I got it. I thought that was what you're supposed to do. It says 2013. I'm not going to take it off till probably 2014. But thank you for everybody. It's an honor to be in this room with all you fine people. These people standing behind me, it's been an honor. I kind of feel like being a half Polish kid. I kind of feel like Rudy from Notre Dame, kind of an underdog, but you work hard, you never see what happens. So thank you all. Appreciate that.
Congratulations. Last, but by no means least, our final honoree of the Nutley St. Patrick's Day Parade is its queen. I'd like to ask her to please join us at the podium. Please welcome me, Alicia Bennett. Thank you. Alicia Bennett is a proud Irish woman, excuse me, who traces her, you're welcome, who traces her Irish roots through both of her parents, Michael and Ann Bennett, who emigrated to the United States in 1978. Her mother, Ann, was born and raised in Dublin, Ireland, and the family of her father, Michael, hails from counties Westmeath and Cork. County Cork is where my family hails from. Alicia has found memories of Ireland, also cherishes her experiences of following in her mother's footsteps as an Irish step dancer since the age of 5, and has competed in many Irish dance competitions and performed in numerous dance shows, including a New York Radio City Music Hall with the Irish tenor Frank Patterson, as well as with the Norwegian Cruise Line. You're a graduate of William Patterson University, where you've earned both an undergraduate and a Master of Science degree in Communication Disorders. You currently work as a speech and language pathologist with the Bergen County Special Services, as well as with Sunny Days Early Intervention Services. You're also going to give our freeholder Luciano some lessons, I understand. He just announced. Alicia is also an active member of, I think he's hoping for that. Alicia is also an active member of a member of Holy Family Church in Nutley, where she is a lector. She's involved with the Nutley JCs and is a member of the Nutley Irish American Association. On behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board and myself, congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you to all the freeholders for inviting us down here tonight. This is an honor in itself, and in addition to this past Saturday at our parade was such a great experience representing the Nutley Irish and really our community. And I was sad when the day came to an end, so I'm really excited and looking forward to the upcoming parades with West Orange and Newark, and just really continuing this celebration. So thank you, everyone.
At this time, we're in for another treat. It's my honor to call up the dancers again from the Deniglia School. Denolia, I'm sorry.
Our final parade this evening that we will recognize is the oldest in the state. I'm going to call up a good friend, Michael Byrne, to the stage. Michael is the General Chairman of the 78th Annual Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade. Michael, please join me on the stage. For those of you who don't know, Michael is also a fellow Montclair resident, born and raised like myself. He is also, you were the chair of the Republican...
No, I'm not the chair.
The chair, or an active member of the Republican Party in Montclair. So I don't know how we let this happen here in Essex County. Joe, I know we're all for bipartisanship these days, but this is getting a little out of control. But I say that in good fun. For anyone who knows Michael, what he has done to what was already a great event and a great tradition under the leadership of Assemblyman Tom Giblin, I think has been tremendous. He's taken a great parade and a great tradition and made it even better. And I'm delighted to see that he spends his time, on this activity, and as serious as he is about his Irish heritage and continuing the tradition that's been established under our predecessors. So please join me in welcoming the General Chairman of the 78th Annual Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade, Michael Byrne. Mike.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank Freeholder Gill for putting this event together. I want to let all of you know that I do have party registration forms to change party in the car. Anybody who wants to re-affiliate, I'd be happy to get you that form and submit it. First of all, I want to acknowledge our dancers, John Ferns, Kiara McGovern, Caitlin, and Carly. Fantastic job again. Thank you. Also thank Mr. Giblin for his support of me the last 3 years as General Chairman. Our Grand Marshal will be up here in a minute for the support he's cultivated downtown. Our Deputy Grand Marshal, who's made a real effort to cultivate support among the organizations, getting the organizations represented as our aides, thanks to both of you. And also just to Gary Kressig. It was funny, upstairs we had to get in line, and I was kind of struck by the fact that the marshals of the parades were being marshaled by really the Grand Marshal, I guess, upstairs, so that everything could be put in order. Does a great job every year. March 15th is our parade. A number of activities this year. We begin with the investiture mass of the Grand Marshal and Deputy Grand Marshal at 9:15 at St. Patrick's Cathedral. A parade breakfast follows that's open to all at Gibbons Law Firm. Patrick will speak about that. There's also an inaugural presentation on Irish history at the Newark Public Library, also at 10:30 for high school age students. Father O'Donohue from Redemptorist Mater Seminary is giving that presentation. Breakfast is sponsored by Investors Bank. Anybody high school age or even maybe middle school age who'd like to go to that is welcome at 10:30. The grandstand is at 12 and the parade itself at 1 o'clock. So we hope to see you all there. Thank you.
As it was already noted by Assemblyman McKeon, our next honoree is a leader in the Essex County legal community. And if you have been reading the Star-Ledger lately, you might be aware that the firm he represents is heavily involved this year in the Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade. Patrick Dunnigan, I'd like to ask Patrick to please join me at the podium. Patrick. Patrick is a highly respected member of the Irish legal community and the Irish community at large, and the most deserving Grand Marshal of the Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade. He's the chairman and managing director of Gibbons Law Firm in Newark and has led its growth to a major Mid-Atlantic regional powerhouse.
Just ask me.
During his tenure, the firm joined the AmLaw 200 and became only one of 20 law firms nationwide to be named to the National Law Journal's inaugural mid-size hot list. Patrick was highlighted by Law 360 as one of the nation's most innovative law firm managing partners and has been named 2 years in a row to NJBiz Power 100 list of the most powerful people in the state's business community. He earned his BA from Iona College, as did my father, who is here, Dad, Iona College grad, and his JD cum laude from Seton Hall University School of Law. He currently resides in Ridgewood with his wife Christina and their children Morgan and Michael. Patrick traces his Irish heritage through all 4 of his grandparents who emigrated from counties Mayo and Donegal. He is listed among the Irish Legal 100, a nationwide network of the most distinguished lawyers of Irish heritage, and serves on the Board of Advisors of the Irish American Bar Association of New Jersey. He is also Vice Chair of the Board of Visitors for Seton Hall University School of Law, on the board of NJPAC, as a member of the President's Council of Valley Hospital, and as a treasurer of the New Jersey State Bar Foundation. I also had the pleasure of watching your interview I think it was on Caucus, New Jersey, with Steve Adubato Jr. And Patrick talked extensively, which I thought was fascinating, about the role of Gibbons both in the Irish American community and its role here in the city of Newark, and how both the city's history, the history of this parade, and the history of the firm have been linked together very closely, so for many, many years. So Patrick, I could not think of a better Grand Marshal to represent the 78th annual Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade. Thank you, Brandon.
That's some introduction. I probably should step off now so you leave with a good impression of me. Congratulations to all of the honorees. It's indeed my privilege to be associated with you here tonight. To all of the dignitaries who I've gotten to know, most of you, in my day job as the chairman and managing director of the great Gibbons Law Firm, headquartered here in Newark. We were founded in Newark in 1926 by Andrew B. Crummy. With a name like Schmuckers, you have to be really good lawyers. So we changed that name back in 1997. You know us as Crummy, Del Deo, Dolan, Griffinger, and Vecchione. And the first lawyers at the firm were Crummy, Considine, Gibbons, O'Neill, Murray, Moore, and Dolan. And these Irish folks had to come together because they could not get a job at some of those other white shoe firms that were run by others, because there was rampant discrimination against the Irish back in the early part of the last century. So when Mr. Giblin and Mike Byrne and the parade committee came to me and said, would you like to get involved in the Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade, of course I was honored. And my partner, Anthony Callahan, who hails from Donegal, stand up, Anthony, and my partner, Bill Kastner, stand up, Bill. A lot of you know Bill. And my partner, Noreen Giblin. All of these folks, and our Chief Marketing Officer, Donna Fanador, is here. And we said, if Gibbons is going to get involved, we're going to do it right. And we're going to bring great honor to the 75th St. Patrick's Day Parade. And we said we're going to bring out the business community of Newark to support this event. So as my aides, and who'll be marching with me, are representatives of all of the big companies downtown, Horizon and Prudential and PSE&G and New Jersey Performing Arts Center and the publisher of the Star Ledger, and people from the Prudential Center and the various charities that are based in Newark. And by the way, because of the philanthropy of all of those folks that you see at the bottom of that banner in the Star Ledger, we've been able to raise over $100,000 to go to Newark-based charities. So Father Ed St. Benedict's is part of that. Boys and Girls Club of Newark, Christ the King High School, the Newark Museum, the Jersey Performing Arts Center. We've been able to put together that coalition. So as a firm that has a sign on the top of One Gateway Center, and we're all proud when we come into Newark to see our firm, Assemblyman, for us, it's go big or go home. And this year's St. Patrick's Day Parade will be great because we delivered on our first promise, was to get everyone's attention and to have them support the parade. Now we need to get them out there on the street, and that's our second promise. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
I think Patrick Dunnigan should run for office. I think I'd vote for him. I'd like to call up to the... Not for our offices. I'd like to call up to this stage the Deputy Grand Marshal of the 78th Annual Newark St. Patrick's Day Parade, Eileen Galice. Let's hear it for Eileen. Eileen lights up every room she enters. She has such a warm smile. She is as good and as decent a person as you will ever meet. Eileen Galice is a second-generation Irish-American whose grandparents hail from counties Donegal and Galway. She was born in Newark and raised in Irvington and earned her BA from Rutgers University and an MA from Seton Hall University. She is also a fellow at the John F. Kennedy School of Government and the United Nations Academy. Eileen holds the rank of Detective Sergeant First Class with the New Jersey State Police and is currently assigned to the Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. She is a past president and active member of the Women of Irish Heritage and was honored as the Irish Woman of the Year by the Friends of Brian Boru in 2010. She is also a proud member of the Essex County Emerald Society and the Nugents Association. I give to you, Eileen Galice.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having us here today. It's a beautiful building and all the dignitaries, thank you very much. I grew up in Irvington and Essex County is my home and my heart. It's, as it was said earlier, the strength of Essex County is the diversity. Everyone celebrates being Irish, everyone celebrates all the cultures, certainly with food, with stories and good times. When I first went to the Newark Parade, I went down on a street called Broad Street, and a little shop called Bamberger's is where we would stand near to see the parade. When it moved up to Valesburg, on the avenue, as they call South Orange Avenue, I used to see Senator Rice there when we were both much younger, and it was always a great day. Everybody laughing, smiling. We learned the term, "Where are your people from?" is what we'd have to ask all the relatives and everyone else. It's just been really great. Now, who would have thought all these years later that in a parade led by a Republican, and greatly done so, this is the diversity that we spoke about. My uncles are looking down and having a good chuckle, no doubt, and my grandparents. I'm being honored as a New Jersey State Trooper. I'm in a room full of politicians and didn't need to bring any handcuffs today. Does it get any better than this? But honestly, it's been just a great time. I used to work in corruption, so Homeland Security, they're always more happy to see you. But it's going to be a great parade. Our parade is the last parade. It will be on the 15th. If you can please come, please join us. It's going to be a great time with Patrick leading us down the street. Please come if you can. If you can't, please pray for sunshine. Thank you very, very much.
I don't know if you want to frisk me first. Or Congratulations. Assemblyman Giblin made earlier a moving presentation to Mrs. Pellegrino on behalf of her husband, Terry, but I wanted to give her an opportunity. I know maybe she wanted to say a few words on behalf of her late husband, Terry Pellegrino, please.
Try not to be emotional. Thank you. I really want to thank the Essex County Board of Children Freeholders for this wonderful, wonderful plaque that I've received. I'm really going to try not to be too emotional. I used to be an Essex County resident. I grew up in Nutley, graduated from Nutley High School, and I was a proud, proud parishioner of Holy Family Church. I do want you to know that I am not Irish, not one little bit. Not my father's side, nor my mom's side. Both of them ended in a vowel. And I did marry someone whose last name ended in a vowel. And when he wanted to become a member of the Essex County Emerald Society, pipes, drums, band, I said, okay, how are you going to do this? I said, you are not Irish. I said, but I will have to say, I have to thank my mother-in-law for that because she is a McCurdy. And she is 95 years old. She is in a nursing home, and she does not know of, does not know of any of the things that are being done for this particular son. But I want to say thank you so much. When he became a member of the band, what we did is we borrowed another O and put it at the beginning of our name and added an apostrophe there. And I do want you to know that if my husband even knew any of this today, he would be extremely, extremely upset. He was a man who never wanted a pat on his back for anything. And if there are any of you in here who knew him, you would honestly say, when I said before, where's the beer? You would know that that was definitely something that he would always say. And in fact, Mr. Byrne, who I've just met here this evening, needed pictures of my husband. And when I tell you I have pictures galore, every picture, even in that picture of my husband and my daughter's wedding, he's standing there with a bottle of beer in his hand. So it was really difficult to find a picture that with my husband in his drums, in his uniform, and we had to cut out some of them sometimes because there was that can of beer. So I do want to thank everyone. It is such an honor to have my husband have the parade be dedicated to my husband, and I want to thank everyone involved. It was such an honor, such an honor. Our daughter couldn't be here this evening. She's a high school teacher in Hackensack, and if any of you have family members that are teachers, you know their day never ends at 3 o'clock or 3:30. And for her to get from Hackensack to here by 5 o'clock would have been just a little bit too much for her. So on behalf of my daughter and myself, thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful honor. Thank you.
So with that, Madam President, saying our meeting's starting at 7, we have to do the people's business. 7:30, okay. So we have a little bit of time. We have to do the people's business. I would like to, on behalf of Madam President, and want to thank her again and recognize her for allowing the members of the board to put these types of activities together. This is by no means part of our statutory responsibilities, but I think it's important, and I want to recognize her leadership again for allowing the members of the board, especially the new members of the board, to participate and put this type of effort together. So a round of applause for our chair, Lonnie Watson. I also would be remiss, I just wanted to also just recognize my wife and my son Gabriel are here. Alexon is here. My son Gabriel, who's been an angel this entire time. Gabriel, wave. So glad that they could be here. None of this is possible without the support of a loving family, and also my parents who are here. Those of you know I talk a lot about my dad a lot. He's a 41-year public school teacher still in Montclair. But the person in the Gill family that you don't hear a lot about is my mom, who is here today. And she lost her mother and my grandmother unexpectedly this July. And I thought Mom wanted you to know, I thought a lot about Grandma today. She was a McDonald by way of County Cork, but I thought a lot about her because she was part of that generation. She was a librarian. Lifelong librarian, and she put her 3 children through college. She was not a college graduate, but my mom and her sister and brother were able to go on to college and build successful lives, but she was never honored in a parade or called a hero. But that generation, she was proud of her Irish heritage, but in a much different way, by her commitment to her faith and to her family. it's my belief that we should never lose sight of that when we do these types of ceremonies. So with that, we will have a reception upstairs on the 5th floor, and I'd like to call Father Edward Leahy for our benediction. Father Leahy.
Just before the benediction, it occurs to me, boss, that it's a little strange. Boss made a reference to handcuffs and not having to bring them tonight. That it's only in politics in the United States that we call those people that we hire dignitaries. Something to think about, right? We hire them, we fire them, but they're dignitaries, and they work for us. So the dignitaries in Essex County, the people who live in Milburn, the people who live in Newark, the people who live in Irvington, the people who live in Fairfield, the people who live in Caldwell, they're the dignitaries, and those people that we elect, they all work for us. So we always keep that in mind. Thanks for boss for reminding me. I was wondering, Steve, where's Steve? Did he? How could you live in Liverpool for 17 years? How did you live in Liverpool for 17 years? You didn't move out. Liverpool. Your mother is Irish. Oh. And last, I want to thank the kids. I want to thank the kids who danced today. I'm sure they looked so happy, but I'm sure they weren't happy dancing on this floor. So they probably have to go home and pack their legs in ice. But we're grateful for their gift and for their presence with us tonight. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, give you peace, give you traveling mercy home. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Freeholder Beasley. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Present.
Freeholder Johnson.
Present.
Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Siebel, absent. Freeholder President Watson. Present. Okay, Madam Clerk, I have before me certification that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion? Madam President, there are none. Let's move to the public comment section. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak? Please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, let the records show that there's no one present wishing to speak at this time. Let's then see if we can go to public. So there's no one here. Even I was going to ask for comments on agenda items, but if we have no one wishing to speak on agenda items, please let the record reflect that there's no one present, again, to speak on agenda items. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any issue, please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, let the record show that there's no one wishing to speak at this time. And let's move to ordinances, Madam Clerk. Are there any ordinances on second reading? Madam President, there are none. Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any ordinances on first reading?
Madam President, there are none.
Then let's move to Resolution 1. Mr. Sheila, please explain the resolution.
Yes, Madam President. This is out of our Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Management and Budget. This is an emergency to the 2013 temporary appropriation, requesting a 2-month extension for the months of April and May. This is primarily a resolution that we are putting before you in the event that the budget does not get introduced on time in the latter part of this month. But Mr. Acker is here to fully explain if the board has any additional questions on this 2-month extension on the temporary budget.
Okay, Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
No, I received a call today from Mr. Acker, and he explained the resolution to me and explained those items in here that we have appropriations for the pension. The bills have to be paid in April, so those are fully appropriated. Everything else is basically, those are fully appropriated. Everything else is basically prorated for a 2-month period to allow authorization of expenditures for the period of time prior to the adoption of the budget.
Okay, very good. Freeholders, questions? Comments? Okay, let's go to Resolution 2. Ralph?
Yes, Madam President. Again, from the Department of Admin and Finance, Office of Management and Budget. This is a resolution for the county tax levy and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2013 per New Jersey SA 40-A4 45-14. Mr. Acker is here to explain the cap bank to the board.
Okay, Mr. Acker, you want to come give us
Certainly,
some
Madam
information
President.
on that?
Mark Acker,
Okay.
Director, Department of Administration and Finance. This resolution is permitted by the budget law. The index rate that was established for the 2013 budget was 2%, and all public entities, by adoption of an appropriate resolution or ordinance, can take the 2% to 3.5%. And if you don't need that, you can then what is referred to as bank it to the extent you may need that in either of the next 2 budget years, 2014 or 2015. The 1.5% bank, which is from 2 to 3.5%, that 1.5% represents $4,168,000 and change. Essentially all you're doing is just reserving that as an option in either of your next 2 years' budgets to the extent you may need it to balance your budget. So it's not cash, it's not money, it's just a calculation. The 2% cap, you can take it to 3.5% by adopting this resolution. We are doing that. We don't need it for this year, but again, by adopting this resolution, you can then bank it for either of the next 2 years. Just by way of illustration, last year you did this. It was 2.5%. You went from 2.5 to 3.5. That represented $2,635,000. You didn't need that in the 2013 budget, so you didn't use it. That'll be available for next year if you need it. If you don't need it next year, that'll disappear. This one for $4,168,000 will be available for 14 and 15.
Okay, Mr. McInerney.
No, it's important
Clear.
that this resolution be adopted prior to introduction of the budget.
Okay. So freeholders, this resolution is coming to us because next week we will be introducing the budget. So if you have any questions on this resolution, we will be voting on it next week when we introduce the budget. So freeholders, questions? I think your explanation was good and clear.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's list 1 and 2. And we will take 3 through 13. The administration's request an action on these resolutions. They're all professional services. And I usually, Ralph, you usually have your county counsel to come up and give the board some explanation on why these professional services are needed and why we are introducing to the board this evening individually, showing individual professional services under the county of legal services.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be glad to call Mr. Paganelli up to the microphone. He could run through those resolutions 3 through 16.
We're going to go to 16.
3 through 13, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And these are contracts that we have standing with law firms from last year. They are still, these matters are still either in litigation or in the legal process. So Mr. Paganelli will give you a brief description on each of these items.
Very good. Mr. Paganelli, will you please come to the mic and state your name and affiliation for the record, please.
Madam President, James Paganelli from the Office of County Counsel.
Okay, how do you want to just start with 3 and just go through each one? How would you, Ralph, how would you want us to, you want him, but that's how you would like to have him make the presentation?
Yeah, Jim, you could do a brief summary of each
Summary
of
of each one, yes. Okay.
contracts.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Madam President, as the county administrator indicated, these are all, while they're new contracts, are all old matters. These are not new firms to us, nor are these new matters to the county. Number 3 is the contract that we've annually had with the Genova Burns, John Tomasi and Webster firm. They handle our labor matters, labor negotiations. It's kind of an ad-needed contract. I know that the contracts are up this year. I don't really know how much work we're envisioning having them do, but this is kind of the annual labor contract that we've had with that firm. Number 4 is a contract that's really
as you're going through them, I'll ask freeholders if you have any questions, we'll answer them each individual resolution. So if there are any questions on 3, then we'll have Mr. Paganelli to continue. So question, comments, freeholders on 3? Let me ask a question. On the legal representation of labor matters, we expect to have start negotiating labor contracts this year?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to defer that to the administration.
Through Madam President, as you know, all of our contracts with the 28 or some odd unions are all up December 31st of this year.
Okay.
So some part of this year will begin that process for new contracts. That is correct.
Very good. Continue.
Madam President, number 4 is a contract let to the Comifoli firm. It's for $50,000. They have historically acted as special outside counsel to provide legal counsel to Public Works. Ordinarily, that firm is invoked through Mr. Varghese' office. They, I think, touch base with them on various construction-related issues on many of the major projects that the county carries forth.
Questions, freeholders? Okay, continue.
Number 5 is a contract that we've had with the Greco Di Filippo firm. They do our civil commitment hearings at our hospital center. You might notice that this is up a little bit over last year, and that's because of the involuntary outpatient commitments that we have now. The Greco firm last year did those without any additional requests or compensation. This year he asked for an additional $100 per meeting, so we added that into the contract. Again, that's something that's been before the board before.
Freeholders? Questions? Okay, continue.
Number 6 is a contract that we started probably 2 or 3 years ago. It's with the Pyrozina, Cefelli, Paris, and Genetempo firm. They do various collections for us for hazmat, for other areas where claims come up, fines are levied, and the party that's fined doesn't pay. Ultimately, we go out to the Pyro firm and they do our collections for us on these matters. It's been very successful.
Questions, freeholders? We'll go to 7.
7 and 8, Madam President, are really companion resolutions. It's the 2 law firms that we've engaged on the Gaiman versus the Sheriff's Office and Officer Esposito. Number 7 is Scarency Hollenbach. They represent Edward Esposito. Number 8 is the Comifoli firm. They have been representing Sheriff Fontoura and Under Sheriff Kevin Ryan. This, as the board may recall, was the unfortunate event that took place in the park. We ended up with the shooting. So this matter is ongoing. During the budget hearing, we indicated that there may be other defendants added. So if they are added, ultimately we may come back probably with another firm, but we're not at that point yet. So, but that's what this matter is.
And how long has this contract we've been working with this particular case?
This incident took place in 2000 and 10 this summer. We brought them on end of 10, and we've had them the last fall.
And each year we are renewing the contract as a continuation of costs.
Yes, Madam President, I wouldn't call it a renewal because we actually go back out and award new contracts. But yes, it's the same firms. and-
Same firm?
Yes, ma'am.
And we did use the same amount last year for this firm?
Yes, I believe so, yes, 7 and 8. And Madam President, I spoke with Mr. Farnacola this afternoon. What we're going to do for the board on these matters is give you a report. I should have had it prepared, so I do apologize. I know you always ask for that. But I'll give you kind of a historical snapshot of where we were in the past year, so you can see where we are budgetary.
Very good. Okay, continue.
Number 9 is part of my role as county council. Is I'm also the county adjuster. Mr. Childs put in response to an RFP. He has been the county investigator over the last couple of years. So he helps us if we have a question on settlement of a committed patient, which county should pay for it. He helps us go back and do kind of background, make sure that we're correctly paying for patients that are committed.
Question? Question, freeholders? Let's continue.
Madam President, items 10, 11, and 12 all pertain to the same matter. They're different law firms representing different defendants in these matters. This was a SEPA claim, which is kind of a whistleblower claim, discrimination claim brought as a result of Ms. Friels suing the prosecutor's office. As the board knows, we represent the prosecutor's office in these matters, particularly in employment situations. These firms have been working on this matter. I actually have a memo coming to Mr. Parlavecchio. We've been successful in knocking out a number of different complaints alleged in this matter. We still have a couple that we're still dealing with, but our early motion practice has been successful, and I'll get that over to Mr. Parlavecchio.
13.
The last one, Madam President, is something that came to us last year. This is the PBA's challenge to the county's use of Delaney Hall for our alternative to incarceration program. I do envision that this one will be wrapped up this year. I know I sometimes say that and come back the following year. But most all parties have agreed to do this summarily. It seems to be lying on some fairly narrow legal issues that I think will get heard early this year.
Okay, before I ask for additional questions, to the freeholders, Mr. Scheller, could you tell us why you're requesting action on these resolutions?
Through you, Madam President, these firms have been working continually from last year into January and February, and now that we're into the month of March, we'd like to see if we get these contracts approved so that if there are any matters, we can resolve them rather quickly.
Madam President?
Yes. Mr. Parlavecchio.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Mr. Cielo just said, I think Mr. Paganelli said it also. These are all existing lawsuits. There's no new ones. The newest one is the last one that we just discussed, the PBA, but that was still something this board already reviewed in 2012 and passed the initial contract. So I think Mr. Paganelli and his office has done a very good job keeping a lid on the amount of cases that have been going out and the amount of money being spent on those to outside counsel, to the detriment of people in my profession, but to the good of the county.
Very good. So freeholders, questions, comments before I ask for a motion to take resolution 3 through 13, with the understanding that Mr. Paganelli would submit to the board a listing of the professional services that he's requesting and with some explanations with that listing. Do I have a motion, freeholders? And a second.
I'll move it, Madam President.
Moved by freeholder Luciano, second by freeholder Beasley. No further discussion, freeholders. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebo, absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Paganelli. Okay, let's go to 14, Ralph.
Department of Public Works, Division of Building and Grounds, contract award to Prime Pest Control. This is a 24-month contract, amount not to exceed $550,000. The county did receive 4 bids from 21 who viewed the bid specifications from our portal. This is the same vendor as last year. Our Public Works Department has been very pleased with their response time. And the hourly rate is $22 per hour, and there's a $25 portion of the contract for materials and supplies that are not covered under the contract, and this is a amount not to exceed.
Okay, questions, freeholders? No questions? Let's go to 15.
Again, this is the Department of Public Works, Division of Fleet Management, contract award with Cheney Arco Sales to supply 1 new all-terrain Argo 8x8 amphibious vehicle, amount not to exceed $26,948.73. This is a replacement vehicle for Mosquito Division. This vehicle is used in the marshlands. We did advertise once, there were no bidders. We advertised a second time. There was one vendor who was disqualified, and under New Jersey public contract law, the county is allowed to negotiate a purchase of the vehicle, and we're bringing this matter before the governing body.
Okay. Questions, freeholders?
Yes, Madam President.
Yes,
I have
Freeholder
one
Johnson.
for Ralph. What does this vehicle do? Exactly what does it do?
Primarily what this vehicle does, it's allowed to get into wetlands and marshlands, and it's for spraying mosquito larvae and to address the mosquito population.
And this is used in the South Mountain Reservation? And
This is used countywide.
okay. Even on the golf course?
No, this is pretty much for wet marshy areas, but it could possibly be used at the 15th at Weequahic with that water area. It could possibly be, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President.
Shirley. Additional question? Mr. Paganelli? Polyvecchio.
Thank you. Mr. Chilella, I'm glad you explained why this was negotiated, that you went out for bid twice. On the second go-round where there was a bid submitted, was there any, I don't know, negative response from the bidder who was disqualified, any challenge, or did he just consent to that decision?
Through you, Madam President, no, there was no challenge at all by the disqualified vendor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, freeholder, additional questions? Okay, let's go to 16.
Madam President, 16 is Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering. We're requesting an approval of a grant application to execute a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the replacement of the Hoover Avenue Bridge over the Third River. The state does require that an application be approved by resolution by the governing body, and this is that resolution.
Questions, freeholders? None? Let's go to 17.
17 is a similar resolution, Madam President, from Public Works, Division of Engineering. This grant application for a grant agreement is again another state requirement that the application resolution be submitted and approved by this governing body. And this is for the Glen Avenue Bridge over the west branch of the Roray River in the township of Millburn.
Questions, freeholders? None? Let's go to 18.
Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, agreements for the reimbursement of costs associated with the Federal Aid Highway Program funds for South Orange Avenue in the amount of $317,274. The state required this reimbursement agreement be passed in a form of a resolution. And this current intersection has antiquated traffic signals, and there are no pedestrian signals or crosswalks. And this project will achieve that, as well as paving and milling in the areas including the rights-of-way.
Okay, freeholders, do you have any questions beyond 18? Let's go to 19.
Department of Public Works agreement between the County of Essex and the County of Morris for construction cost for the superstructure replacement of Eagle Rock Avenue Bridge at the Passaic River in the Township of East Hanover. As you know, in many of our bridges, we have the shared services agreement with the neighboring county. This happens to be with Morris County. This is a 50-50 split, and we are picking up for 50% of the construction cost.
Questions, freeholders? Mr. McInerney, if you questions on
No, this has been in existence for a while.
Oh, wow, okay.
Just, Madam President, if
Yes.
you don't mind,
Freeholder
I have a
Luciano?
question for the administrator.
Of course.
Yes.
I know that bridge well, Mr. Chialo. I'm just curious, for the record, how does the county determine whether or not the bridge is going to need or bridges in general need maintenance? I mean, is that something, especially if we share them with other counties, is it something, like, in this case, is it something Morris County came to Essex with? Was this a proposal that Essex went to Morris with?
Through Madam President,
Yes.
similar to other bridges in other counties that we share with, bridges are inspected not only by the state but by the county as well. And when bridges are found to be in need of repairs, the state normally submits that information to those neighboring counties. It's then up to the counties to then issue an RFP for the design and how they're going to repair or replace the bridge. And then it's up to the state to actually fund that project. So it's in conjunction with the state, and both counties are involved from day one.
So the RFP would go through which county?
Typically what happens is with neighboring counties, we share that responsibility. 1 year, let's take for example the Clay Street Bridge. That's an annual contract that we have for maintenance and electrical repairs. 1 year Hudson County will put out the bid and we will reimburse Hudson. The following year the County of Essex would put the bid out, Hudson would reimburse us. So it pretty much goes back and forth. We each take turns.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Additional questions, freeholders? Okay, Madam Clerk, let's list 14 through 19. And I saw Mrs. Gill in for a few minutes, but she must have... Ann Gabriel?
And Mr. Gill's.
And Mr. Gill's father. I'm hoping they will come back in so we can officially welcome them.
I got scared away with Mr. Luciano.
Very good. Okay, let's go to 20, and we'll read it into the record at a later time, Madam Clerk. And we'll ask Ms. Sheller to explain 20, 21, and 22, and tell us why he's requested action.
The reason for 20's calling for action on this evening is these are for the golf carts. And as you know, we opened up our golf cart, our all three courses on March the 1st. These are golf carts that we lease for all three golf courses. This is a 3-year agreement, and it is primarily the same vendor as last year, and we are asking for action on it this evening. Resolution 21 is our Parks Department contract with Guardian Fence, a 24-month contract, amount not to exceed $572,455. This is primarily for fence that needs to be repaired throughout our park system. As you all know, that from Hurricane Sandy and other events, that there are many fences that need to be repaired. This contract will help achieve that on a go-forward basis.
Okay, let's go to 22.
22, the reason for action on this item again tonight is this is for the aluminum seating that is in Cody Arena, rink number 2. This is for parts to have those seats and that seating area repaired. This is in the amount of $29,150, and we need to get those seats repaired and ready for many of the hockey games that are currently going on, Madam President.
Okay, Madam Clerk, for the record, Freeholder Bobadilla is present. Okay, freeholders will entertain questions for Resolution 20.
Madam President?
Comments? Yes. Mr.
Number
McInerney.
20, that's coming out of the operating budget?
Through you, Madam President, yes, this always seems to come out of our operating budget. And these are rental payments for golf carts and vehicles that are used on the golf course.
That's a big hit not to go through capital, but that's been the way that's been.
Through you, Madam President, yes, that's the way I believe we've addressed that every year. Or every year this contract's up.
Thank you, Ralph.
Okay, freeholders, additional questions on 20? And this contract is good for 13, 14, 15, 3 years?
Through you, Madam President, the leasing of the golf carts are for 3 years. That's correct.
What Ralph was pointing out that it's not a hit all in 1 year. It's relegated over 3 years.
Okay, so that's
So it'll be roughly 250,000 a year.
That's why, yeah. Then it's not so as it sounds, right? That's why I want to make sure we put that on the record. Okay, additional question, comments, freeholder will be on Resolution 20, freeholder Bobadilla. We're going now to 21. Question, comments?
Madam President?
Yes, freeholder Johnson.
County Administrator, I'd like to ask, that Weequahic Park, part of the fence, since we're talking about fencing, is that in that lot of fences to be fixed, or was that fixed near the end of last year?
Through you, Madam
Toward the end of
President, I'm not exactly sure which fence.
You remember they were talking about on Elizabeth Avenue, up a little bit toward the Lyons Avenue area? Remember that?
Through you, Madam President, if we could kind of maybe go there and you could show me and Mr. Salvati, because I'm not sure if that's part of a repair or if that's scheduled for a total replacement. So if we could.
Because Mr. Wadu and Mr. Freeman
Mention
had spoke on this in like September, October of last year about the fence was down on the Elizabeth Avenue side, coming up toward Lyons Avenue in that area.
We'll follow up on that.
Yeah, I'll take a ride up there too. Do you have any fencing listed that you are planning to use this?
The only one I have that I know of, and that's at, I think it's Glenfield Park, that we've got a temporary snow fence up there. I think that's one of the first items on the list that I know of. But this is a 2-year contract on an as-needed basis, so when repairs are required, this contract will address that.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President.
And this is, we've used this company before, right?
Yes.
Through you, Madam President, yes, I believe Guardian had the contract in the past.
In the past. Additional questions, freeholders? Okay, let's go to 22. Freeholders, question, comments? No questions, no comments, then freeholders will have a motion and second to take resolutions 20, 21, and 22 together. Moved by freeholder Johnson, do I have a second? Second by freeholder Beasley. Additional further questions, freeholders, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla. Yes. Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Sebo, absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Ralph, let's take 23 through 27. Oh, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Yes, I'd just like to report the vote in the affirmative for resolutions 3 to 13.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's take 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Ralph?
Department of Parks contract award with Catherine Cool to provide for archivist services for the historic document library at our Parks Department. This is a 12-month contract, amount not to exceed $20,000. This contract includes logging as well as documenting all of the historic materials out of our Parks Department. And it's located at the 3rd floor of our 115 Clifton Avenue Parks Building. Resolution 24, Parks and Recreation contract with Elite Tennis Academy to provide for the operation of tennis courts at Branchbrook as well as Brookdale Parks. 5-year contract or agreement. Total revenue to the county over the life of the 5 years, $303,909.72. The first year's revenue to the county will be $55,000. Each subsequent year, there will be a 5% increase in each of the years. As you know, they provide for programming at the tennis facilities, camps, tournaments, and there is a brochure included in your packet. Elite has been providing this service to the County of Essex since 2008. Resolution 25, Essex County Board of Taxation. Contract with Samuel Klein to perform auditing and accounting services for 12 months. Amount not to exceed $21,500. Resolution 26, Department of Health and Rehab, 2-year affiliation agreement with Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, School of Nursing. This is a practicum site for our nursing students. This is a new agreement. We currently have an agreement with Rutgers School of Psychology. This is the first time that we are extending the affiliation agreement with the Rutgers School of Nursing. Resolution 27, Department of Economic Development, Division of Training and Employment, contract with Essex County College to provide services for out-of-school youth through this Workforce Investment Act. Amount not to exceed $100,000, and this is grant funded.
Okay, freeholders, we'll start with question comments for 23 first. Freeholder over there.
So, we can talk about historic and preservation. Was there not a state or federal grant out there for this kind of preservation?
Through you, Madam President, in the past, we've been very fortunate in obtaining Paris grants from the state. That program has since ceased. So this year we are actually contracting this out of operating funds.
Madam President?
Yes.
I think some of this goes back. We were very concerned about some of the records that we have, the condition they're in, and we're talking about historical records here, are we, well, for the most part?
Through you, Madam President, yes, these are historic documents dating back to the old Park Commission.
Right, and what from my understanding, where Mr. DelGuardia was here, is some of the climate conditions and that these documents are held in are not conducive to their preservation. And this some of that Paris money went to help that, and I believe this is a continuation of that necessary program.
Questions? Questions, freeholders? Then let's go to 24. 25. 26. And 27. I just need some clarification on this program. I know it's coming through our Economic Development, Training and Employment. And how does it work, Ralph? Do we give all the grants to Essex County and they determine who they will fund it, how they will fund it?
Through you, Madam President, this is a contract with the college to provide specific skills, basic skills, as well as GED college prep skills. And it's for youth from the ages of 18 through 24. So it is a defined scope and work activity that the college must provide for us.
Okay, and so is this a grant or this is just, it's a grant funded, and we pass it on to Essex County. Do they have a particular group that provide this service for Essex County? And I know you know where I'm coming from.
Madam President, I know this, we had spoken about this contract in the past. I believe this was for that program. I'm not sure the name of the entity within the college, but maybe Mr. Amos might know.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ben Amos, confidential assistant to Director Nebo Ramos, Department of Citizen Services, Economic Development, Training, and Employment. Yes, the contract goes to the college, and it is implemented through its YES program. And I believe the YES program has been here in front of this board recently with issues about the program remaining whole. And this program, through the YES program, will actually be the implementing entity.
Okay. So we are
The
saying,
college gets the money, but it's an internal program called a YES program that will implement the program.
so we are saying now that the college received the funding from the county,
Correct.
and there's a program in place for the college to use to prepare these young people to continue their education, to get their GED, or to continue further in their education.
That is correct.
Do we dictate to them what group should receive this money?
The federal grant indicates what eligible youth can be served through the program. So the county college has to be in compliance with those federal guidelines. And that is also mentioned in the contract specifically.
Rep, for my information, and I'm sure some of the other fielders may, is it possible for me to see have a copy of that contract?
Absolutely. In fact, yes, we'll get that over to you first thing tomorrow.
Very good.
Correct.
Mr. McInerney?
Yes, so we understand this. This is funded by the county. It goes to the college, and the college it's the program within the college itself.
That's correct.
Okay, so it's not going to an outside vendor at the college.
Through Madam President, I
Yes.
just correct Frank from one other thing. It's actually a grant from the state of New Jersey to the county of Essex under our Workforce Investment Act.
Right.
We then will take those dollars and award it to the college. Within the college framework, they have an entity in the college, and they will provide the services that are called for under this contract.
Okay, who controls that entity within the college? Is it the college?
It's the college.
So the employees in that entity are employees of the college?
I know in the past that was the case. Under this new contract, I can't make that assumption. We'll have to go back and check.
Okay.
I can ask Mr. Amos who checked that for us.
Okay, so we're concerned with really the logistics of this. You've explained that it's really a sub-recipient of the county's fund, county college being the sub-recipient, but then there's a program in the county college that is, we're just trying to understand if that's part of the curriculum of the county college, or if it's the employees within that are separate and distinct, or if the program is separate and distinct from the county college.
I could speak to, in the past, how we funded this program. The same way we're doing it this evening. Project Yes is a program that the college runs. The last time we funded it, their employees were, in fact, employees of the college. I don't know if that's the same format under this contract, but that was the format in the past.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to just have an idea of what this contract is saying.
And we'll provide that for you, Madam.
Very good. Freeholders, additional questions, comments? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Madam Chair.
Let's, no further questions on, we will list, Madam Clerk, resolutions 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. And we will read into the record 28 and 29 at a later time. Ralph, do you want to tell us why you requested action and explain the two resolutions?
Yes, Madam President. As part of the requirement for funding, the state has required the County of Essex provide a resolution authorizing the signature on item number 28, and that's labeled the Universal Service Fund CWA Administration Grants. This is out of our Department of Welfare. And likewise, Resolution 29, this resolution is the approval of the authorized signatures under the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. And this is a requirement by the state that in order for us to finalize the grant funding for both of these programs, this resolution is required.
Okay, good. Freeholders, questions on 28? Mr. McInerney, questions?
I have any questions?
29? Freeholders, none? No questions on 29, Mr. McInerney?
No questions
So
on
we good
29.
on 28 and 29?
No, ma'am.
Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second? Moved by Freeholder Beasley. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Bobadilla. No further questions. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla? Yes. Freeholder Clark, absent Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Shiala on 30.
30, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Youth Services. This is another shared services agreement between the County of Essex and the County of Passaic for a sheltered bed program with the Newark YMCA. We are requesting a 3-month extension of this contract in the amount of $30,249.37. Passaic County is in the process of an RFP for this service, and until such time as that RFP is ready and a new vendor is selected, we're requesting this extension.
Okay. Questions, freeholders? No question. We'll list that, Madam Clerk. And list 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, and 57. All resolution commendations. Okay?
Yes.
All right, let's, Madam Clerk, do we have any added starter resolutions?
Madam President, I'm happy to say we have none.
Very good. We'll move to the public comment session, Madam Clerk. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to come to speak before the freeholders? Please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. No one from the public wishing to speak at this time. We'll go into other business, freeholders. And let me just commend Freeholder Gill and Freeholder Luciano for the outstanding job that you did in celebrating our Irish heritage. And when I say our Irish heritage, I mean it. My maiden name was Cody. So you have to accept me, I'm sorry. Okay, but you did an outstanding job. It was really great. And it was so good when we can come together and honor each other's heritage and to respect each other's heritage. And it was a great program. So again, thank you for all that you did. And I want to thank the staff. You did a fantastic job today, as always. And just keep up the good work. We have quite a few more coming up.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay. Other business freeholders? I know the weather is kind of bad out, and I'm trying to push the agenda, if you don't mind. Let me just, for the record, let me thank the administration again for the follow-up questions that we proposed to you last week. You, as always, you respond to us in an efficient way and on a timely manner. So we want to thank you for that. What I would also like to have the staff to contact Sheriff Ventura. He gave us response on the gang grant money, and it was really detailed. And we need to send a letter acknowledging the response that he sent to us, and I think it was another response that we sent to the sheriff's office that he also responded. So we need to acknowledge that. Okay, from last week's meeting, Mr. Douglas Freeman asked the county to investigate along with the city of Newark why members of the community were not permitted to purchase property on Littleton Avenue. And I think the response was very good, Ralph, when we responded to this question. So thank you again for the response that you sent to the board. Mr. Wadu stated that the county must have oversight of the mission of the Essex County First Tee program, and I think your response to that was a very good response. We sent the letter out to Mr. Wadu on today in reference to a 9-week program in July and August for which young people are being charged $125. The response was a very good response. And I'm sure that the parents of the First Tee, maybe we can share sometimes with Mr. Does he attend the meetings with the First Tee parents? The parents of the First Tee, we don't know?
I'm not certain if he does or doesn't.
Okay. Because that would help. I know a lot of things that's going on, the parents are involved with some of these programs, and maybe that would be good for us to let Mr. Wadu understand that it's not just the county, that it's the parent group that works with First Tee that's sponsoring and presenting, sponsoring some of these programs. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I think that was something the parents wanted. It was a camp for $125. We're not charging. It was a camp. It was a camp that we were going to have during the summer months, and I think that was a program that the parents put together. So the response was very good. So maybe he'll understand that. Do we have any other business freeholders? Freeholder Gill?
Thank you, Madam President. Just one thank you again to the staff for everything that you did to help put together tonight's event. Thank you for all the hard work. I just had a quick question. Maybe I just missed this. I'm sorry, Madam President. The Resolution 57, was that taken together with all of the commendations?
Yes, we did them all together.
All together?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you want me to pull that one out so you would be able to?
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to just quickly.
Is that 47?
57.
Okay, continue.
57. Yes, I just wanted to put on the record, Madam President, this is a support resolution for a bill sponsored in the state legislature by my predecessor, former freeholder Ralph Caputo, or now Assemblyman Ralph Caputo. It's the Corporate Disinvestment Property Tax Relief Act, and the reason I just wanted to put this on the record, it's important. This bill specifically deals at the state level with the loss of Hoffman LaRoche. As we know, Hoffman LaRoche will be leaving their facility shortly, and this state legislation is aimed at helping, hopefully, Nutley specifically to deal with the potential rateable loss that they're going to incur. So just as just a request through the governing, through the commissioners in Nutley for this to support this state legislation, and I would urge my colleagues and the administration, anything we can do to help facilitate this bill is critical to the township of Nutley. I also just wanted to give one, I won't hold this, I know the weather, one final plug, but they made me, I promised them I would do this. On Friday, we had Read Across America. I'm sure many of you participated. Dr. Seuss's birthday, and this is a gift from the Montclair Child Development Center, and my charge was to make sure that this is seen on TV. So I did it. Wonderful day. The kids were great. But again, and I'll just use this as the forum to talk about the sequester, a great example of what the current sequester means. Their program they'll operate at 80% now of their annual budget. This is a Head Start provider which has 3 locations serving one in Montclair, 2 in the township of Orange. That as a result immediately of the sequester now will be forced in the next week to make cuts to staff, aides, things of that nature. So, if you think that the sequester is not having an effect, you're wrong. It's happening as we speak. We're a critical program like Head Start, which I think across all spectrums we agree is doing some tremendous work and is a critical program, is already going to feel the brunt of what's happening on the national level.
And I concur wholeheartedly with you. And that's so sad. Additional comments, freeholders? No further comments? Let me remind the freeholders that next week we will introduce the budget. Am I correct, Mr. McInerney?
March 13th.
March 13th, we'll
Yes, ma'am.
introduce the budget, and of course, when we introduce the budget, we can discuss it, but we are not taking a vote on the budget on next week. We're just introducing it. You need your vote to introduce it, but it would not be a vote to adopt. Okay? So no further questions or comments?
President?
Yes.
Next week we will be in East
Johnson?
Orange.
Yes, we'll be in East Orange.
Yes.
Is it East Orange? East Orange.
I believe so.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Is that yeah, East Orange. I see Ralph checking
Yes,
his.
the 13th. Yeah,
Yeah.
East Orange.
Yeah, it is East Orange.
Yes.
So, if there's, are you okay with that, Ralph? Oh, you're updating your calendar?
It is East Orange, Madam
It
President.
is East Orange. Very good. Okay, then may I have a motion to adjourn, and please, everyone get home safe. I could hear the wind.
It's about 30 miles an hour.
30 miles an hour, so be safe. Take your time getting home, and have a good day.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.